Analyst predicts AKD to be the winner. Nishantha's death benefits opposition. Ruling MPs discuss online safety bill and assure support to Tehran. SJB decides to close saloon door.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Analyst predicts AKD to be the winner. Nishantha's death benefits opposition. SMS alerts early Thursday morning brought unexpected news that State Minister Sanath Nishantha and his bodyguard were killed in an accident at the Katunayake Expressway. Comments to the news posted on social media show the extent of public denunciation of his ilk. The parliamentary seat that fell vacant following Nishantha's death will be filled by Jagath Priyankara. With 40,527 votes, he tops the preferential votes list of unelected members. Nishantha came first in the district with 80,082 votes. Priyankara is a member of Wimal Weerawansa's National Freedom Front, and his lot will rise to 7, and the SLPP loses 1 seat. It is reported that Wajira is already at work to lure Priyankara to the UMP. The controversial online safety bill was passed by majority vote in Parliament yesterday. It received 108 votes in support and 62 against. The bill drew widespread criticism, with the Asia Internet Coalition, whose members include Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon and Yahoo, warned it would adversely affect the digital economy's growth and foreign direct investments to Sri Lanka. Human Rights Watch said the new law will adversely impact the freedom of expression at this year's elections. The rights watchdog's claim has some truth in it. AKD is the darling of social media these days, not just the government, but the SJB and Dilith Jayawera treat him to be their arch-rival. Also, Deepthi Kumara Gunaratna and Chintana Dharmadasa take him to task by way of liberal criticisms. Even such seems to favour AKD. He is now dubbed the Facebook president. Political critic and activist Dr. Mahesh Hapugoda explains it in a YouTube programme. He says that AKD is so called because a sizable politically conscious portion in the social media is in search of a different way of politics rather than that of the two mainstream parties. They have been quite influential in shaping the public opinion. They did their bit even during Aragalaya, when repressive acts were presented and when there was obvious police repression. If there was no social media, everything would have been like one-way traffic. What would have remained were the state media and media owners exploited by the state. They find social media to be their nightmare. The JVP-led NPP has been reaching out to social segments, especially in rural areas that do not have access to social media. So, they have a method of passing on their message even without a digital platform. Therefore, an election will show that AKD is not just a Facebook president. When anything reaches a certain stage, a reversal is difficult. AKD is now in such a position. Hold the election to see the result, Hapugoda says. What he says is no exaggeration. It is only AKD who has been able to reach out to all segments of society. The group that manages to play its game amid obstacles from the new laws is sure to be at a clear advantage. At the same time, it should be said that social media needs to be regulated, especially to prevent child abuse and other crimes. Ruling MPs discuss online safety bill and assure support to Tehran. Chief Government Whip Prasanna Ranatunga chaired the meeting of ruling MPs last Monday. The President was abroad, and the PM and the Speaker were late to arrive due to commitments elsewhere. First topic on the agenda was the online safety bill. Tehran explained it to the MPs. He said amendments will be introduced to the bill as per the court ruling. Civil society, social media and opposition were consulted, and they want the debate to be postponed. Tehran suggested to submit their proposals to Parliament and gazetted. Prasanna asked MPs to be in Parliament early with the opposition, certain to oppose and demand a vote. There were several invités to the meeting. The Attorney General, along with the Director of the Legal Division of the Police, Ruwan Gunasekara, were asked to explain the bill. Prasanna inquired from Gunasekara as to why only insults to individuals and the judiciary are mentioned, and that there was nothing about Parliament. The ex-police spokesman replied that judiciary is included because action with regard to insults to it in the digital platform is not mentioned elsewhere. Ruling MPs wanted the executive, legislature and the judiciary taken as one. Prasanna said they wanted a clarification in order to be armed to respond to the opposition. State Minister Kanaka Herath said they raised their hands to support every bill and wanted to know what happens after it becomes the law. Gunasakara gave him an explanation. Sanjeewa Edirimana asked how the law acts if more than one person is found to be in the wrong. Ramesh Pathirana said their houses were set on fire during the Aragalaya, but the law is yet to take its course. Asoka Priyanta came to his support, saying that nothing has been done, although evidence against the culprits have been submitted. Everybody asked the Attorney General for his opinion. The complaints are not complete, and even some have withdrawn cases due to a lack of evidence. Court action will be filed against some, he replied. Some levelled the finger at the police for not investigating properly. Prasanna said he even submitted pictures of those who set his house and ministry vehicles on fire. The suspects were given bail, although damaging state property is an unbailable offence, he said. The main purpose of the meeting was to discuss the online safety bill, but what took up most time was the arson attacks on government MPs during the Aragalaya. Anyhow, it ended with all agreeing to support Tiran's bill. Certain backbenchers gave the promise without even knowing what is in the proposed law. SJB decides to close saloon door. Former Chief Minister of the North Central Province, Peshala Jayaratne, is to join the SJB within days with an electoral organiser position. It was reported the initial decision was to post him to Anuradhapura due to objections by Polonarua's Kins Nelson. Presently, Jayaratne is the General Secretary of Kumar Welgama's Nawa Lanka Nidahas party. However, Sajith decided some days ago at the request of leaders of certain parties and groups to stop accepting MPs from other parties into the SJB. They told him that with success in further talks, they could join him not as individuals, but as whole parties. Therefore, it has been decided to postpone forming an SJB-led extensive alliance until March or April. Even some SJB MPs have spoken against accepting everyone to their party, with warnings that they will become independent in Parliament. To avoid internal strife, Sajith put a temporary stop to new arrivals. The leadership's hope is to accept political figures that are unlikely to pose a challenge to his MPs at an election. All presidential hopefuls play games individually to reach their objective, but other MPs are worried about how to get re-elected. Therefore, they will decide in the next 6 to 7 years, in complete consideration of their individual futures. Shan Wijayalal from Ambalangoda is a case in point. Do not take it seriously if someone says the decision was taken for the country's sake. That's it for today.